your Missouri Tigers getting set to take on Southeast Missouri State out of the Ohio Valley Conference. An FCS opponent today for Gary Pinkel's crew, the SEC Coach of the Year and winners of back-to-back SEC East Championships. Led by his junior quarterback, Matty Mock. He won 6 in a row to close out the regular season last year to win that SEC crown. Solid on defense as well with Kentrell Brothers at linebacker. He is the top returning tackler in the conference. On a smoking hot day here in Columbia, temperatures on the field over 100 degrees. And Missouri winning the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so Southeast will receive. And it looks like Corey Fatoni, the freshman punter, will handle the kickoff duties here. Tremaine McCullough and DeMichael Jackson, the two deep backs for the Redhawks. Jackson is also their starting tailback. Tigers in gold and black. Southeast, their road whites. The season opener for the Tigers and Redhawks, and the kick from Fatoni heads in the direction of McCullough, and it will take him outside for the touchback. And Southeast Missouri State will get set to take over as we welcome you to Faurot Field for the season opener. The Tigers and the Redhawks, Beth Mowins along with Anthony Becht. Anthony, one thing we do know about these Missouri Tigers, they've got the most productive returning duo in the SEC in Matty Mock and Russell Hansbrough.
Well, Russell Hansbrough is the workhorse of this football team. He'll be by himself. His carries will increase. And Matty Mock, he's 14-4. There's been some criticism on his inconsistencies in his career here at Missouri, but the one thing he is a gamer. He gets it down the field. He makes big plays for this football team. One
of the question marks for Mock is who will he be throwing to? It's a almost entirely new group of wide receivers. And for this defensive unit for the Tigers, the question surrounding a lot of new guys on their defensive line. As we take a look at the starting lineups, first off for Southeast, Bender winning the quarterback battle in the preseason. Jackson and Paul McRoberts, their playmakers.
They're talking about McRoberts as an NFL quality type of receiver. We'll keep an eyes on him today.
The fake end around, Bender will keep the junior college transfer, and he's running for that first down mark, diving out of bounds, and he's got it. Ian Simon was the guy that pushed him out of bounds, but a 10-yard pickup for Bender. The starting lineup for that defense, new guys up front, Brothers and Shear, the top two returning tacklers in the conference.
Keep an eye on defensive end number 91, Charles Harris. Can he live up to the expectation as a sack artist, which is Mizzou fans have normally come to see?
They really love both of their cornerbacks. In fact, Gary Pinkel telling us yesterday the back seven may be the best he's had here in his 15 seasons in Columbia. Bender on first down, the rollout, the throw incomplete. Shorts it to Paul McRoberts, who is the senior out of St. Louis and a guy that the NFL scouts are taking a long, hard look at.
Well, they love his size. His catch radius is enormous. They say when he tracks the football with his hands, it's like none other. They're going to take some shots with him down the field, but they got to get this running game off fast for their start.
Head coach Tom Tukowicz says not only is he their best guy, their hardest worker as well. Behind Bender is DeMichael Jackson. Their top tailback spins for maybe a yard out to the 36. Kentrell Brothers with the tackle. All three of those linebackers are returning this year along with Shear and Newsom. Now let's see how this defense will challenge Bender and McRoberts. Paul will line up to the top of your screen. He's wide to the left. 5 DBs, they'll show the nickel package.
Yeah, third down could be a different type of look for Missouri. Barry Odom likes to mix it up with blitzes. Let's see if they bring some heat here with their linebackers.
Only 3 men with their hand in the dirt, the others standing, and the pass out to the 40-yard line for the catch to Adrian Davis, but only a 5-yard pickup. Kenya Dennis on the coverage, the senior out of Leland, Mississippi. And it is 4th down now for the Redhawks. Arian Penton had jogged as the deep man in a punting situation. Their punter is number 46, Alex McKnight. He is not in the ball game right now. And it was Bender looking like they were going to go for it on 4th down. And they forced the timeout from Missouri. 4th and 4 when we come back early at Missouri. Timeout, Coach Took showing right now the offense on the field on a 4th and 4 in their own territory at the 46-yard line, or excuse me, the 41-yard line. Bender, the quarterback, stays out there.
He's out of depth in this situation. It could be a potential pooch kick. They got 4 yards to go. It's a lot to ask when you're not at the 50-yard line early in this football game.
McRoberts and Lloyd, the receivers, to the short side of the field. And it will indeed be the pooch punt. Missouri did not send anybody deep as the ball sails out of bounds. And the first trip out onto the field for Matty Mock. For more on that, here's Paul.
Well, Beth, people outside the Mizzou program look at the production lost at wide receiver from a year ago, and they ask the question, how can Matty Mock get it done through the air in 2015? Well, I had a chance to speak to James Reardon, sports psychologist for the Mizzou football program. He told me Mock has great confidence in the new guys. Being the son of a football coach, he has the mind of a 10-year football coach himself. The on-field emphasis, total focus for 6 seconds, which is the life of a football play, according to the two. When things do or don't work, they live by the phrase, park it and refocus.
Thank you, Paul. A flag down as Mock will tuck it and run for a few yards. And gets out of bounds. Picks up 3. That pooch punt, by the way, just 23 yards. So Missouri not in bad shape. There's actually 3 different penalty flags down on the field.
Personal foul. Defense number 98. Moved to participate after his helmet came off. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, that was Joshua Wilson in the middle. Once that helmet comes off as a defender, you have to stop and steer clear, and he pursued the quarterback.
It's always a tough play when you're a football player going out there, you're trying to make a play. Watch here in the middle, number 98. His helmet's going to just pop off here when he gets collisioned with the offensive lineman.
Well, that's the infraction as Hansbrough gets it for the first time, breaks the tackler, he's got a first down, bumped out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. And a really nice block on the edge by DeLosa. A 20-yard gain, and then that looks like Hansbrough, who is still down after the carry. The senior out of Arlington, Texas.
See, it's just the outside stretch play. Tremendous balance to get outside. Possibly a rolled up ankle here as he gets out of bounds, gets caught under the knee of the defender.
That was Roper Garrett who had the knee on the ankle. The pass from Mock batted down at the line of scrimmage, and Hansbrough immediately took the helmet off and headed right for the table. Ish Witter would be the backup. And he is now into the ball game, the sophomore from Tampa, who only carried the ball 27 times last year.
See the defender just fall on the ankle. That's a tough one there, and they're not sure about their backup running back position. An opportunity here for Whitner.
Witter tries to get to the outside. He's caught from behind. Chad Meredith, a guy that Southeast expects big things from this season, and he lost a helmet, so he'll come out for a play. Had a torn labrum that really slowed him down a year ago. And now it's 3rd and long. Jamon Moore, Nate Brown, the receivers to the near side. Jason Reese, who was a game-time decision to play the tight end, he is slotted to the left. Mock throwing deep for Moore into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers!
There was a question about who will step up at the wide receiver position. Youth across the board for this football team, And the first strike goes to number 6, Jamon Moore. They talk about this kid, 6'3". He's got great reach. You saw there. Put the ball up high for him. The young man brought it down.
Mock to Moore, 27 yards. They went over the top of Michael Ford. Just 7 returning catches for the receivers that are on the field today for the Tigers, and they answer a question quickly as Baggett tacks on the PAT. Their first possession and the quick strike for the Tigers. Jamon Moore hauling it in the end zone, and Mizzou goes up quickly. Opening day, the season opener for the Missouri Tigers and the Southeast Missouri Redhawks. The first possession, a touchdown drive for Missouri. They only needed 5 plays, a minute 15 to go, 64 yards for the score, but significant developments on the injury front for the Tigers. More in just a second. As you see, not only Russell Hansbrough getting some attention, but also All-America candidate at center, Evan Boehm, sidelined as the kick from Fatoni goes through the end zone. Here's Paul Carcaterra.
Beth, they actually happened consecutive plays before the Matty Mock touchdown. Evan Boehm, a right ankle sprain. He's getting taped right now. He hasn't been able to put too much pressure on it. And then star running back Russell Hansbrough, same injury, right ankle. He's taped. He's applying some pressure. He looks a little bit more optimistic right now. Trainer's still evaluating Boehm.
Well, Boehm's a quarterback for this offensive line. That would be a tremendous loss. He is the catalyst on where this directional, where they're pointing, looking for blitzes and Hansbrough, a guy that's getting more workload this season. Tough to start the season with an ankle injury.
You'll notice, too, the highly touted freshman Terry Beckner Jr. out of East St. Louis getting some action in the middle of the defensive front for the Tigers. Bender will fake the handoff, and his pass incomplete, looking for Lloyd. ESPN scouting, well, he had Beckner rated as the number 2 overall prospect in the country, the top defensive tackle.
When you talk to Barry Odom, defensive coordinator's eyes light up. He said this kid does some special stuff in practice, especially one-on-one, but he does have some of those freshman mistakes, alignment assignment. That's what they're looking for out of this kid in this game.
They know a thing or two about D-linemen here, D-line zoo, and even Gary Pinkel said, in his words, he's the deal. And a great future expected for him. The pitch here on second down and a collision out at the 29-yard line. Arian Penton came on to smack into Jackson.
Talked to Rashard Pete, the offensive coordinator for Southeast, and they talked about running that read option against some of their defensive ends. They don't have a lot of experience. They want to pull the ball, try to get him confused. You see a big run play off that.
Well, let's see if on 3rd and 5 here they look to McRoberts. He is number 1 in white down at the bottom of your screen. Kenya Dennis with the coverage. The safety, Anthony Sherrills, is cheating over to the left side a little bit. On the rollout, looking for McRoberts, who circles back around. Now will throw deep down the sideline and batted away by Dennis.
Adrian Davis is a guy, as a receiver. They had him in the flat early here. You see McRoberts is going to go inside. They have the inside route, come outside. He's got some space in between the defenders. Probably could have hit McRoberts there. And Davis goes up high. Another 6'3" wide receiver on this football team. He's someone they want to continually work to get the football to. Forced into the freshman role last year. They really like what he's done in the offseason.
A lot of confidence and experience, too, from those DBs. Dennis had no problem passing off McRoberts to the next man down and then switching over to break up the pass. And now a punting situation here on 4th down. Arian Penton is the deep man as flags are tossed before the kick. This is an issue that Missouri wants to look at.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
They have 0 return experience after losing All-American Marcus Murphy from a year ago.
Yeah, they got to find depth at this position. The special teams situation has been good for them the last few years. You see Southeast really trying to do some wrinkles on the punt team. They get a penalty. You want to line up, get the punt off. Let's not try anything crazy. Take what they give you and not make those mistakes.
41-yard average a year ago for Alex Knight, and Penton popped right as he catches it. Missouri will have it at their own 36. We'll see if Boehm or Hansbrough return with them after the early injuries in a 7-0 lead. Beautiful September day here on the campus of the University of Missouri in Columbia. A 7-0 lead in the season opener for the Tigers. Good news is that Evan Boehm and Russell Hansbrough are going to be back out there with the offensive unit after both of them suffered injuries on their opening drive.
Ankles are tough for the tailback position. He gets rolled up on by the defender, and the same thing for Boehm. Very fortunate there that could have been more serious. But if there's anything about Evan Boehm, 41 straight starts today, it's going to be hard to get him out of a football game.
The senior out of Lee's Summit, Missouri. He's the captain in Remington and Outland Trophy watch lists. Hansbrough had the helmet back on and looked like he was good to go, but he will not start out here on this possession. It's Ish Witter in at tailback. And it will be Witter on the carry. Austin Black getting into the backfield for the tackle and a loss of a couple.
You look at Southeast, when they run defense, they've shown a lot of press coverage on their wide receivers when they're defending them. Here they've been off the majority of this game. You saw that Missouri tried to go up top early. It wasn't there. Might be open up this short game for the receivers in this offense.
Witter stays on at tailback. Four-man front this time for the Redhawks. Mock on play action, looking across midfield and incomplete, out of bounds. Nate Brown, the sophomore slot receiver who missed the spring with an injury. They really think he can do big things for them today.
Yeah, he's really traditionally an outside receiver, but they moved him inside. They love his versatility as a player. It's going to be one of his favorite targets. He actually had both receivers, Jamon Brown again wide open on that go route.
Officials are talking about whether there was a roughing penalty, I think, in the backfield.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 81, with targeting. 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
That is 2 personal foul penalties already on this defensive unit.
Yeah, you see that way late on that hit on the quarterback, and he goes right to his helmet on that football play. They're going to check this for targeting, but to me, helmet to helmet, took a direct shot to Mock.
This is something a little different this year. They will not announce whether it is an ejection penalty until after they review it. So Kevin Stein, the referee, on the horn. The replay official upstairs is Gerald Hodges. These are Sunbelt and SEC officials.
Pretty clear cut there. This won't take too long for the refs.
After further review, the rolling on the field is confirmed by rule. Number 81 is disqualified.
Again, not a smart play. You're talking about a backup defender who's rolling in for Southeast. They're trying to get some looks, some pressure on the quarterback. Physically, though, you have to get it when it's close. Direct hit to the mouth there. Not a way to start on defense and giving those free yards to this Missouri offense.
So the sophomore out of Arkansas, Kendall Donnerson, is ejected. He will miss the rest of this game. Mock appears to be okay. Witter again will join him in the backfield. Sean Culkin, the tight end, their leading returning receiver, is now lined up. 20 catches. We've talked about the inexperience coming back. Gary Pinkel doesn't like to call them young. He just says they're inexperienced. They've been able to create some good wideouts over the years here as well. Play action for Mott. Looking to throw deep again for Moore. He's already got one touchdown and just off the fingertips. Ford had the coverage once again. Down to Paul.
You know, Anthony, you mentioned backup defensive linemen getting tossed, not a big deal. It is 100 degrees on the field right now. I'm sweating bullets right now. You guys are up in the AC, I get it. It's big, though, for Southeast Missouri because they're rotating that front almost every single play. Missouri doesn't play fast. It gives them an opportunity to rotate fresh guys and kind of offset that strong offensive line in Missouri.
Yeah, you're talking about having to possibly go 3 deep now at that spot. The receiver screening for a first down inside the 40 to Keon DeLosa, the redshirt freshman out of Round Rock, Texas, and a gain of 13.
Well, when you're off the football as a defender, we talked about the short game is going to be there. Great block. Watch number 2, Nate Brown out here in the slot. He's going to make a great block. That springs number 15, DeLosa, with the big play.
Russell Hansbrough back out on the field. He'll get the touch. Gets inside the 35, picks up 3 yards. Chad Meredith with the tackle. Hansbrough was the 7th best rusher in the SEC last year, about 77 yards per game, over 1,000 yards. Trips to the right for Matty Mock. He'll roll that way. And off of 1 foot, fires for the end zone, incomplete, broken up at the goal line. He was looking for his tight end, Culkin. Michael Ford with the breakup, the sophomore out of Alton, Illinois.
And again, Mock making the decisions to go deep. Good defense there, right on top, stays away. Number 4 has been tested, Ford, today so far on the deep ball. But Mock had the underneath route. Emmanuel Hall, number 84, was open. Those are the consistencies he has to work on, finding the open receiver, reading the defense.
Ishwitter is offset. That's one of your guys. That's a tight end going up there, Anthony, for that ball. As Mock fires from his back foot, that's up for grabs, and that will be intercepted at the 5. Eric Moore went up to get it, and the turnover on an ill-advised throw from Mock, who was off balance. Meredith was the guy getting in his grill.
Yeah, and when we talk about the inconsistencies, this is what we're talking about. He'll roll to his right. He sees a defender. Now, his ability to get away from him, but right there you got to make a decision and either throw it away or get it out of bounds. And if you're going to throw it to a DB, that's not the guy. Eric Moore is the only defensive back on this football team with an interception coming from last season. That's his first of the year. He's the bell cow. He is the coach of the defense, Eric Moore, and he makes a tremendous play, really, on a jump ball by the quarterback. 3
picks a year ago, their vocal leader, and Coach Tuke was telling us he's already offered Eric Moore a job next year. He thinks he's going to be one heck of a coach. Actually, in 2 years, only a junior.
I think he wants to get that on contract, though, to make sure.
Yeah. So off of the turnover, DeMichael Jackson will carry. And a reminder that we've got some more SEC football coming your way later on tonight. The Jim McElwain era will start down at the Swamp, Florida, taking on New Mexico State at 7:30 Eastern on the SEC ESPN network. And then on the alternate channel, it's LSU at home against McNeese State at 7:30. To find the SEC network alternate channel in your area, go to secnetwork.com/channel. And another helmet pops off. That's the 3rd one already of the quarter as Jackson able to carry the ball out across the 10-yard line. Brandon Lee is the guy that lost his helmet. He will trot to the sideline. So here go the Redhawks again. A 3rd and 5 from the 11.
His defense again wants to be exotic on his blitz looks. 3rd and 5, not a opportunistic blitz opportunity. They're going to probably play it straight up.
And on the receiver end around, the ball fumbled and dropped back at the 2-yard line is Tremaine McCullough. A loss of 6 on the miscue in the backfield.
3rd and 5, you're backed up. The trick plays, the reverses, the jet sweeps, especially if you're pitching the football, are always dangerous. And you see the ball bounce away here. Again, just a miscommunication. And again, you got to be clean as a back receiving the football. You got to have your hands and arms in the proper position. You can't take it with your hands. Pop Warner things there who created that turnover.
And a couple of JUCO transfers in their first game together there, Bender and McCullough with the miscue. And now the punt out of the end zone from Alex Knight. Pressure coming, he gets it away end over end, and Penton will initially wave it off, and now will try and scoop it up. And it looks like the back judge had already whistled that one dead on a fair catch from Penton. 49 yards on the punt. Good field position for the Tigers trying to rebound from the turnover. Afternoon, 7-0. Tigers with the lead over the Redhawks. A touchdown pass for Matty Mock, as well as an interception that he threw down at the 5-yard line. Not a whole lot of receiver weapons returning for Mock to go through. They lost their top 3 guys, and only 19% of their catches and 14% of their receiving yards are back.
Well, Jamon Moore read that stat and he said, I got to change that. He had a big catch today. The inside receiver, Nate Brown, he's another guy that they're expecting big things from.
A 27-yard strike from Mock to Moore, the touchdown on the board. But Matty, the last time he was out there, had the pick, and they will try and rebound. Witter stays in at tailback. And Boehm is still out there at center. Both Evan Boehm and Russell Hansbrough had injuries earlier in the game. We've only seen Hansbrough return for a play or two.
Josh Henson, the OC, talked about that read option. He wants the quarterback to pull it more often and keep it. See if that happens for Mock in this game.
Henson, a former O-lineman himself, back in his playing days at Oklahoma State, now in his 3rd year as the coordinator here with Gary Pinkel. They wanted to throw deep. They're throwing it deep quite a bit. And the completion inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line to Nate Brown.
Simple corner route, nice throw and catch. Really no obstruction from the strong safety Cooley there. It's an easy throw, keeps it up high. Again, these 6'3" receivers have great catch radius. Nice throw and catch by Mock.
25 yards on the strike, a couple of 20-yard pass plays from Mock so far in the first half. Witter with the carry, lost a couple. It was Chad Meredith. We've been calling the sophomore's name quite a bit in that 3-4 set, making plays, and Hansbrough is back on the trainer's table, and now the tape and the shoe are off and the ice bag is on the right ankle that got rolled earlier in the ball game.
And that's disappointing. He's a guy that put 10 pounds on for the workload.
The pitch to Witter, whose day may be getting a lot bigger now with a Hansbrough injury. He gets it back inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line. David Coley with the tackle.
Again, we've seen Mock go deep on several of these pass plays. I see a lot of underneath routes, 7, 6-yard out routes by the inside receivers. Look for the slot guys, the tight end, to make a play here to get those sticks.
And a timeout called by the Redhawks. That'll be their first timeout on this 3rd and 7 play. 4:55 to go here in the first quarter in Columbia. And we will take the timeout with the teams. The SEC East defending champs. They then went on to beat Minnesota in the Citrus Bowl a year ago. Southeast Missouri State, the rebuilding continuing under Coach Tuke in his 2nd season. They've got a daunting schedule, not just Missouri, but when they get back to FBS play, 4 ranked teams, FCS play. So now here we go, 3rd and 7. Mock will work out of the gun. Looking deep for the slot man. Touchdown, Nate Brown.
The slot receivers have some room to work their inside routes. They choose to go back to the corner route again. And listen, right now, that 23-yard reception, Nate Brown, Jamon Moore, these guys are stepping up and answering the bell early on in this football season to stake their claim. One of the top receivers on this team.
There was a penalty flag thrown as well, right near where the catch was made.
It's going to be excessive celebration here. Catch your first touchdown, you get excited, Beth.
Touchdown. Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 2. That 15-yard penalty will be penalized on the kickoff. That is number 2's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Okay, so they will mark that down for Nate Brown. A second unsportsmanlike penalty would get him booted, so he's got to be careful. His second catch, 48 yards on the day, and a touchdown now for Nate. Baggett on for the PAT. And a 14-0 lead. Matty Mock with a couple of touchdown throws of over 20 yards. They wanted to throw it deep. They wanted to find out about their wideouts. They're getting the answers here, Anthony.
Yeah, Nate Brown's right here, and he's going to run this corner route there, and he's going to take it to the corner, and he's going to be wide open. He makes a nice move. Coverage is there. It's a quick outside. He keeps the stem high. You see it here. He's working. Number 24, Moore. It's just a tough cover. Moore being 5'9", 6'3" by Brown. Well done. I'll tell you what, Moore doesn't look like he wanted to let go of him on that tackle, and he's just trying to get off. But, of course, the referee, Beth, always sees the second part of it. But you know what? It's his first touchdown. Congratulations to Mr. Brown.
Well, and also for Matty Mock, picking up where he left off at the end of last season. We talked about the roller coaster ride at times. He started out hot last year, mid-season struggled a bit, and then guided them to the 6 straight wins to end the regular season. He now has 5 throws for over 5 completions today, 3 of those for over 20 yards, including his 2 touchdown strikes.
Offensive coordinator Josh Henson talked about they're going to attack this team in the passing game. They're going to find out which receivers are going to make plays, and they're going to run their offense. They're not going to pull it back. They're not going to do short passes to get them ready. They need to find out now which one of these receivers are going to step up and make plays.
Both scoring drives under 2 minutes. That one just $1.59, 5 plays, 54 yards, and after the excessive celebration penalty, you will note the kickoff coming from the 20-yard line for Corey Fatoni, the true freshman out of Franklin, Tennessee, who just won the punting job in camp. They thought perhaps Baggett would have to do double duty. Their senior kicker. McCullough running up to try and make the catch, bobbles it, and he's out across the 20 and wrapped up at the 24-yard line. Good special teams coverage from Joey Burkett. Well, during the spring meetings, the 14 athletic directors of the SEC voted unanimously to help raise awareness of prostate cancer prevention, as well as honor former SEC Commissioner Mike Slive by dedicating a game on each campus to the cause, and that is the game here today at Missouri. Slive was originally diagnosed with prostate cancer in the late 90s and then served as the commissioner from 2002 up until his retirement this year. In October of 2014, he had a recurrence of his prostate cancer. And that is an ongoing battle, and best wishes to the former commissioner. An outstanding job, of course, of building up the SEC to where it is today, and their dominance, that 7-year stretch of consecutive national titles.
Really done a tremendous job, like you said. And again, when we talk college football, SEC seems to be the first conference everyone talks about in college football.
And now, of course, Greg Sankey, the new commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. Southeast Missouri, and you heard one of the fans saying, "Ooh, watch out," because Kenya Dennis was coming, and he got to Tay Bender.
There's no doubt. And this is the differences with this defense. Usually Missouri's a straight-up team. They play it out. But you see the exotic blitz on the outside. Dennis, number 7, untouched. Quarterback didn't see it coming. He takes a hit right in his face. And these are the things you'll see with Missouri this season. The change-ups. You'll see some of these strong safeties in these corners attack and pressure the quarterback and make them make quick decisions in the passing game.
3rd and 23. Rush coming. They'll set up the receiver screen to McRoberts. And he'll get back to the 15. Kentrell Brothers with the tackle. Of course, this is the top sacking team in the SEC the last 2 years running. And the 44 sacks a year ago, a school record. And Dennis able to tack on another one. Kentrell Brothers, the senior out of Guthrie, Oklahoma, leading that linebacking core.
Barry Odom loves Kendrell Brothers. You talk about a kid that he might be the smartest linebacker he's ever coached in space. Hard to see him there in that tinted window. He's probably in an air-conditioned box himself. So those are the differences you'll see from his defense this year.
In his first year replacing Dave Steckel, he is back at his alma mater. Odom, a good linebacker here in the late 90s. Penton is wrapped up at his own 45, 39 yards on the punt, 1 yard on the return. How about a little retrospective on Barry? You actually played against him.
I did, 98 in the Insight.com Bowl, but was a former linebacker here, did a tremendous job, G8 here as a coach. I really know him best at Memphis when he coached over there. I did several of his games, and he took that defense, Beth, from one of the worst in football to one of the best last year. They were 28th in the country overall, and he's done a phenomenal job. Well-deserved spot for him here at the back of his alma mater.
Yeah, those defenses at Memphis were terrific. Gary Pinkel said the one thing that he brought with him, or did not bring with him, was his own language. He learned the Missouri language instead of forcing everybody else to learn his calls and the way he spoke the game. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, usually defensive coordinators come in and they just completely change and overhaul, but I think Gary Pinkel's got something to say on what they're doing here, but he's definitely tweaked it. Third downs will be a difference, significant difference on this football team throughout the season.
Tyler Hunt is now in at tailback, the third different guy we've seen back there. This is already the fourth possession of the first quarter for Missouri. A couple of touchdown drives, and they were driving the third time. Matty Mock threw the interception down at the 5-yard line. On 2nd down and 7 from midfield. The draw to Tyler Hunt, the senior out of Huntsville, Missouri. Here's Paul.
Well, Beth, you see all these different tailbacks. Star running back Russell Hansbrough, 1,000-yard rusher. He is done for the day. Rex Sharp, head trainer, shutting him down. Has ice on that right ankle. I don't know how serious it is, though. Could be some precautionary measures in regards to the long season that Hansbrough has ahead of him.
Yeah, they had high expectations after the 1,000-yard season a year ago. They thought maybe he could go for 1,500 or more this year. Mock hit as he throws it out of bounds. He does get it across the line of scrimmage. Extended.
Yeah, one of the first things you look at is how the other running backs step up. And right there, number 36, Morgan Stewart, misses his protection here. Defender gets right around it. Two guys missed their protection as they get hits on Matty Mock.
And they will go back and take another look at that and determine that it is intentional grounding on Mock.
Morgan Stewart was a running back last year, hurt his hip, out for the season. He was one of the fastest kids on the team. Now he's trying to work his way back into this offense.
All right, here comes the first punt of the career of the new guy, Corey Fatone. He's been handling kickoff duties today, end over end. Tyler Manny will make the catch at the 16-yard line after a 43-yard punt. Well, we told you that Anthony had played against Barry Odom. How about a look back at the big fella?
Look at that.
At West Virginia.
Now, what I remember from this game is Barry Odom was initially covering me, but once I started catching the ball, they had to change up the linebacker situation. But now this was a great game, actually. We were down big. We ended up losing the football game. Had the bandana to actually change that role after the season, after my senior year because of that. So, listen, I was a Philly kid coming in.
You were a rebel.
I was
you
a rebel.
were a rebel.
Changed it up, though, when I got to the league.
Yeah, Barry remembered who won the game, but he really didn't want to talk about any man-on-man matchups with you, Anthony Beck. Short gain there for the fullback, Lewis Washington, the senior out of Arlington, Texas. It was a Redhawk team. Boy, things started out so well for them a year ago. They had 2 upsets over top 25 opponents, the first time that has happened in school history. And then the injury bug bit them. 16 guys lost for the season. As Bender gets a big carry, a flag is down at the line of scrimmage as Bender gets out to the 33. Those injuries included their top 2 offensive guys and their best defensive guy. And they faltered down the stretch. but they really like what they are building down in Cape Girardeau.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
That is Garrett Baker, the left guard. The three guys in the middle are all returning two-year starters. The two tackles are both new up front this year.
Yeah, and they're going to have plenty of disruption today. When you look at the deep tackles, you see the guard just take a poor step, gets himself caught. When you're out of position, that's when the holding plays happen. That's when those penalties come around. That's unfortunate. This team on offense has not had much excitement on any of their plays starting this game, and that's a big one they had to bring back.
He was just getting better acquainted with A.J. Logan. He'll set up the screen and another penalty, maybe a face mask coming up here at the 15-yard line. That's going to be on Brandon Lee. DeMichael Jackson with the catch and run, a preseason All-American.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense, number 22. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
He has a chance here today to move up in the career rushing list coming in today. Jackson was ranked 9th in school history.
Anthony Sherrill's going to come into the picture here. It's actually before Lee, Brandon Lee with that play there. And you know, DeMichael Jackson's a guy that they need to get the football to. Getting him in the ball involved in the screen game, the run game. He's a bell cow. They expect him to get 1,000 to 1,500 yards this year. He'll be an important part of this offense.
And Paul McRoberts without a touch in the first half. Their All-America candidate at wideout. Matty Mock's got a couple of 20-yard touchdown passes. The defense leaving its mark as well through the first quarter of the season opener for the Tigers and Redhawks. With the lead, it's been a rough start for Southeast. Just 16 total yards and 43 penalty yards. But before we left, they got some penalty yards going their way, and they've got the first down now, 1st and 10 from their own 29. Tay Bender, their first-year starter at quarterback, overthrows his intended receiver, Peter Lloyd. How about Dadari and an update on the Auburn Tigers?
You got it, Beth. SEC Right Now brought to you by State Farm. Auburn in a 7-0 game with Louisville in Atlanta. Louisville fumbles the handoff. Justin Garrett, the senior from nearby Stone Mountain, picks it up. Busts it 82 yards for the touchdown. It's a 14-zip Auburn lead. Tigers have the football as well.
Thank you, Dari. A good little ACC versus SEC matchup. Bender will get it out across the 30. Donovan Newsom with the tackle. And as we have come to expect in recent years, a ton of SEC teams in the top 25, including the Tigers at number 6 there. Alabama leading the way at number 3. Missouri starting out the season 24th in the nation. The preseason prognosticators picked them in the middle of the pack in the East, but they have proven the prognosticators wrong the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, we know Ellis Johnson was the former defensive coordinator, very good, wasn't able to get that defense cranked up. Will Muschamp factor right now. A lot of people are saying he could be the difference to get this defense back to one of the tops in college football.
Tigers will avoid Missouri on the schedule. These Tigers will avoid those Tigers on the schedule this year. In fact, they don't play Alabama or LSU either. So the road to a 3rd consecutive East title will probably be determined in that final month of the campaign. Gary Pinkel's club, according to the Football Power Index at ESPN, they'll be favorites for every game in the first half of the season and underdogs for almost all of them in the second half of the season.
Does anything change year to year for this football team? It's a constant chip on their shoulder. No one believes that they can win the East year in and year out. The last 2 seasons they've done that. I think they got a great shot. I really like their defense so far today. They've been dominant, and the offense has a great opportunity to be better this year.
Penton again back deep to receive inside the 25.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
This
Still
is the
4th down.
3rd one against the special teamers.
When you go on the road and you're an FCS team and you're coming to play a team like Mizzou, you better do the little things and get it right. And line up on punt, get the ball snapped and kick it off. You're costing yourself yards. And right now, the closer Missouri's been getting the football to the end zone, the quicker they're scoring early in this football game.
5 possessions and now 5 punts. for the Redhawks. Knight standing at his own 19-yard line. He will back Penton up. A good kick all the way back inside the 10-yard line. Penton gets a nice block and a burst out across the 30 to the 32. That was John Slania. 14-0 in the second quarter. A couple of touchdown passes for Matty Mock, but he will stay on the sideline, and it will be Drew Locke, the true freshman from Lee's Summit. Highly touted rookie passer. He's been getting a lot of attention in the local media and from fans because of how good he has looked in preseason camp. And the big news this week was they would not try and redshirt Drew Locke. He had earned the right to be the number 2 guy behind Mock. Out of the pocket, throwing to his tight end, the motion man, Sean Culkin.
Number 3.
Well, you know, I have a disagreement here about playing this young man now. I just still think for me, unless there's a situation to put this quarterback in and burn his red shirt, that's one thing. You got Mock, who's got another season, but now he gets him in the game early. Can't be too happy with Mock feeling that he's out of the game in the second quarter.
Ish Ritter will pick up a couple running up the middle. Lawrence Hills with the stop.
I think, too, you know, you look at the Franklin situation, how he went down during the season and Mock came in. You always worry about those things and having a quarterback that's ready. There's no question that Locke through training camp, like you talked about, I think he was over 75% completion percentage throughout the whole training camp. And he's really opened the eyes and earned the right to be on the field today.
They do not have Russell Hansbrough. He was hurt early in the game, ankle injury. He's done for the day. Locke floats one to Moore inside the 45 and a first down. They beat Michael Ford once again.
He's a pure pocket passer. You see it. He's very comfortable in the pocket. Look at him. Great balance. Ball's in the position to throw. Takes a nice hit. First one off the gate. Again, this corner route has been a play that they've really taken to this defense of Southeast.
22 yards on that strike. And the Tigers have been taking advantage of the left side of the field all afternoon. One of the top Elite 11 quarterbacks this summer, according to Trent Dilfer. And Locke looking downfield, has all day, and another completion. How about the kids starting out 3 for 3? That one to Nate Brown.
Whether it's Locke at quarterback or Mock, the message from Pat Washington, the wide receiver coach, before they took the field, let's use our size. They know they have a huge advantage on the outside. Nate Brown, Jamon Moore, 6'3" guys, going against small corners like Ryan Moore for Southeast, 5'9", Anthony.
Man, Paul, over 5 passes of over 20 yards now for Mock and Locke. And another completion. He starts out 4 for 4. That one going to Thomas Richard.
Well, I think for Southeast, they're running this corner route efficiently out of the slot today. They're going to have to redirect that receiver either with that linebacker or that nickel back to push him and just give him something off the line before he gets ran up to the strong safety position where there's tremendous space for these wide receivers to work.
Locke at 6'4", 205, the true freshman from the Kansas City area. He'll follow Witter to the left and fire to the end zone, and his first incompletion. Looking for more out of bounds. Again, it was Michael Ford with the coverage.
Michael Ford's their best cover guy for Southeast. He's getting a tremendous amount of work today with all these receivers, so you know, he's got to be gassed. You see his arms on his hips right now. He's getting worked by this young staff of wide receivers.
Locke now 4 of 5, 51 yards, operating with the first team offense. And that starting front that still includes Evan Boehm at center. He was hurt early in the game and has been able to come back. Brown and Moore to the left. Locke on the move, wrapped up, trying to get away, and down he goes. John Popovich with the sack. That's the first one of the day for Southeast.
Yeah, they brought some pressure there with some linebackers delayed. Watch here, just a loop to the outside. Inside defender D tackles there to get some pressure. Number 99. Black makes a nice play right here. You see him come around. 57, Ablin, making his first start today, getting a little work inside.
This will be a 39-yard field goal attempt for Andrew Baggett. He was 18 for 25 a year ago. And the kick is good. 17-0, Missouri with the lead. The first appearance of the budding career of quarterback Drew Lock. Gets him 3. Mock helping the Tigers to a 17-0 lead. Matty Mock, the starter, with a couple of touchdown passes, and Drew Lock, the true freshman, with his first action, leads him down the field for the field goal for Andrew Baggett.
Nothing wrong with taking a few hits, too. Obviously, his first series as a Mizzou Tiger. And Mock over there and Andy Hill, the quarterback's coach, they're just, getting it together, get on the same page, explaining what they saw. Both of these guys got some nice heads of hair, though. I'll say that.
That's all America hair right there. Even I'm jealous of those kinds of curls. Well, the Redhawks and Coach Tuke, I think, anxious to see if they can get something going offensively. They have really struggled. More penalty yardage than actual total yardage for their offense today, and certainly with Missouri and the defense that they have put on the field in recent years, always a difficult challenge regardless of whether or not it's your first game. McCullough, a bright spot here on special teams, out across the 30, breaking tackles and out to the 39. Well, a reminder that we've got SEC Rewind coming your way Sunday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. It's that spectacular 1989 Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn, when they actually started playing home games. For years it was held at Legion Field, and that was the first one that moved to Jordan-Hare. And at the time, Pat Dye, the head coach for the Auburn Tigers, of course, the Berlin Wall came down that year, and he said it was like the breaking down of the Berlin Wall in the state of Alabama. Since then, by the way, the rivalry, they're playing home and home, it's been an even rivalry. And a fumble, and the turnover created by the Missouri defense. Charles Harris knocked it loose, and Ian Simon was there to scoop it up.
Again, we talked about the quarterback read option. Tate Bender's trying to make a play, trying to make something happen, and they're really working on the defensive end. And we talked about number 91, Harris. You'll see him on your screen. He's going to chase it down. They talk about this kid's work ethic, his ability to make the plays down the field, and he always hustles. And watch him swat at the ball there, knocks it out, and Tate Bender's got to be able to hold that ball in. He gets into that open running lane. You see him there. He's got his hands on his helmet. Really shows his emotion out there as a quarterback, too. When you watch him play, he's got to understand things happen, to cool down. These are the learning process for this young man.
Matty Mock returns at quarterback for Missouri. Morgan Stewart is the tailback now, and he'll pick up a couple. So that's the fourth different guy we've seen running the football for Missouri, as Joshua Wilson made the tackle. Stewart is the junior out of Kansas City. Missed last year with a hip injury, but they really hope he can get back to the speed that he showed earlier in his career as a state champ on the football field, and a former Missouri Player of the Year. Freshman Emmanuel Hall, number 84, now in at wide receiver. Mock will throw downfield, incomplete, looking for Thomas Richard. We mentioned Hall because he was singled out by Josh Henson as a guy to keep an eye on. They have so many youngsters now at that wide-out position this year after losing their top 3 guys a year ago.
Again, another corner route, and there's a lot of space between the safety who's covering the slot receiver. Again, there's got to be a change here made by this defense of Southeast if they expect to really stop that football play.
3 for 5 on third downs here in the first half. With pressure coming, he'll get away from it, direct a little traffic, and the pass underneath, incomplete at midfield, looking for Stewart. That was Roper Garrett the junior out of Farmington, Missouri, their top tackler from a year ago.
You know, when you watch film of Matty Mock, he's a guy, he's a right-handed passer, but I've never seen a right-handed passer roll out to the right, especially when there's pressure. This kid gets to the outside, and he makes plays now going that way. To me, when you're a right-handed quarterback, you try to get to the right side. It's just an easier pass for him, but he feels ultra comfortable when the pressure's on to get outside and throw across his body.
But Tony to kick it away to Manny. Chasing him back inside the 10, and the fair catch made at the 5-yard line. A 52-yard punt by the true freshman, and a 17-0 Tiger lead. Tying with Alabama and Nick Saban for the most in the SEC, driven strongly by their defensive linemen, and over the last 7 or 8 years, they've cranked out some good ones, including back-to-back SEC Defensive Players of the Year.
No question. Michael Zam, Alden Smith, Konya Lee, Shane Ray, Marcus Golden. These guys are tremendous pass rushers, and you really got to give credit to D-line coach Craig Kulkowski. This is a gentleman that's got this defensive line on the map at Missouri. If you're a defensive lineman, you're coming here, and obviously pulling a guy like Terry Beckner, one of the top D linemen in the country, shows that this is a place young players want to come.
6 guys drafted in the first 2 rounds since '09. That's more than anybody else. And you talk about Sam and Shane Ray, the back-to-back SEC Players of the Year on the defensive side. It's almost a situation of who's got next for the Tigers. Where is it going to come from? Is it going to be Harris or Augusta? The youngster Beckner with a bright future. We've already seen him in the first half. Arian Penton able to trip up McCullough, 12-yard gain. And some pretty nice pictures of some awfully good players in that office.
Coach Cool. You think he likes his autographs of his guys? I think it's a good way to show off that wall with all the tremendous talent that's come through this Missouri organization.
And they keep replacing them. Sam and Ely left a couple of years ago. Ray and Golden leaving after last season. Golden in attendance today, drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. There's a look at Charles Harris, who forced the fumble in the second quarter earlier this afternoon. He spent a lot of time with Shane Ray's backup a year ago. Got a start against Indiana last season, and now ready to go the distance this year.
Harris, Augusta, Hatley, these guys have been dominating the line of scrimmage right now. Southeast has not been able to get anything going in this offense.
McCullough will take it. And the jet sweep gets out to the 25. Ball came out at the tail end of the play. No signal yet from the official as to whether or not the ball carrier McCullough was down. Missouri lobbying. And it looks like they will keep it with Southeast just inside the 25. Josh Augusta.
Can't see if the ball's out or not because it's covered by the body of the running back. Look at Augusta. He's 350 pounds, guys. Look at this guy, the largest man Barry Odom has ever coached.
I think the elbow's down before the ball comes out of McCullough.
Yep, see the elbow.
And was that Brothers who had him wrapped up around the ankles?
Look at the size. They call him Juggernaut. There's a reason why.
6'4". They list him as 345. They'll try and get to the edge again and stay away from those big guys in the middle. Brothers able to track down Peter Lloyd. 6 yards on the pickup. Yeah, that's good enough for the first down. Just the 4th of the first half for Southeast.
Beth, when you got D tackles on the inside that take up space, guys like number 30, linebacker Shear, and Brothers number 10 get those open spots.
Jackson picks up a couple. Dari, what do we got coming up at halftime today?
I bet, thank you much. It will be the Auto Owners Insurance Halftime Report. Dari Noka, Chris Doring, Booger McFarland, Tony Barnhart. We've got a lot to get to. You're going to hear from Gary Pinkel. Also, Arkansas guys making a statement. Auburn, too. We're going to go inside Vanderbilt in those preps for Western Kentucky. We'll take the SEC inside.
All right, thank you, Dari. Bender forced out of the pocket, and we'll throw that one away. And that'll set up a 3rd down now coming up.
Again, a lot of speed. This defensive line now has really shown themselves, and really number 91, Harris. These guys get up the field. They're very quick. Even number 97, Augusta, another guy that has tremendous speed when he's 350 pounds. And again, you see the frustration by the receivers. McRoberts trying to get the ball. Has 0 catches so far today.
Just the 1 catch actually for 3 yards. That's it. Now they'll get him the ball. And he's got the 1st down, showing us his playmaking skills that have drawn the interest of some NFL teams. Getting out across the 50. Anthony Sherrills with the stop.
And again, it's the short game. They're trying to get him the ball underneath, but you see the long strides. They pick up a lot of yards when he's running the football. He's got huge hands. They say when you shake this man's hands, his fingertips hit your elbow. That's how long they are. So far, the short game's been where they've used him the most.
That 21-yard pickup, their best play of the day. And looking towards McRoberts again. Out of bounds. Bender took a lick from Walter Brady, the redshirt freshman out of Florence, Alabama. You talk about the inexperience up front. That'll change quickly because they do have a lot of bodies up front. There could be some good depth when they figure things out. That was Brady, the backup to Marcel Frazier on one of their defensive end spots. Beckner is back into the game. The big-time freshman, he's in the middle, number 79. Bender with the pitch to Jackson, loses his towel, and stepped out of bounds just short of the 45. Arian Penton makes the tackle.
You know, you talk about their depth. I'm right there, number 88, Nate Howard. Showed great speed. I'm telling you right now, the one thing I see about this defensive line is they got tremendous speed across the board, and that'll be huge against this SEC teams.
Nickel package is on 3rd and 9. Bender to McRoberts, getting across the middle, down inside the 30. We'd like to slice him right up the seam.
Big target, slant routes, get it to the big guy. Again, this is getting him in a flow. Just one-on-one, nice move to the outside. You see the linebacker come out in coverage, he gets an opening. Good job by Tay Bender getting the ball into him. Great catch, moving the chains. Best drive for Southeast so far.
Working on Kenya Dennis. McCullough is the motion man. He'll get the ball. Jackson looking for a block. He gets it. And down around the 20. DeMichael doing a nice job to spring his teammate.
McCullough's been one of those guys that have been getting the ball to. And you're right, that was a tremendous block by DeMichael Jackson on the outside, cutting the defender down, freeing up the lane in the outside of the football field. Finally, they get that jet sweep to get some production and yards for him to set up a short 2nd down.
Best drive of the day here for the Redhawks. 11 plays, 75 yards, over 4 minutes of activity. Bender will keep it on the option. Jackson cuts back the spin for an extra 3 or 4 yards.
Excellent defense there. You had a hit on the fullback, you had a hit on the quarterback, and then you got the linebackers scraping across. Watch what this defense does. They get the hit on the quarterback, and then the defensive back Simon's in play to take the running back when he gets the pitch. Very well disciplined. That's Barry Odom right there. Gap sound, having players in position to make plays. Right there was a perfect example of it.
And that was Terry Beckner Jr., who was the first guy right up the middle to force it to the outside. On 1st down, they show the jet sweep look again, and the throw way over everybody's head. He actually had McRoberts springing free across the middle.
He really did. He eyeballed him the whole time, and you think the defender would take him. McRoberts runs a slant route. He's wide open. Watch it right here. He's going to get the inside stem, take a hard, and right there, the second window. And McRoberts is putting his arms up in frustration. You feel bad for the young man. He's their best target. They need to keep going to him because right now he's open.
Was inside of the pocket. There was no receiver in the area. Lost it down. 2nd down.
Oh, and adding insult to injury, not only did he throw it away, but he threw it too far away. And the intentional grounding flag. He's The junior college transfer out of Lincoln, Nebraska, replacing Kyle Snyder. All Kyle did last year was set a school record with over 3,000 total yards for the Redhawks. More yardage in this drive than their first 5 combined. Here comes the screen to McCullough and a nice open field tackle to limit the gain. Ian Simon, the second-year starter at one of the safety spots out of Mansfield, Texas.
Experience. You know, when you look at the defensive backfield, that's the one thing Barry Odom talks about. Simon, when you mention his name, he's like, he knows where to go, he knows where to play. It shows up in practice every single day. But one thing they're going to have advantage of is that back end of this defense is going to be very good.
Gary Pinkel thought they may be the best back 7 that he's had here at Missouri by the end of the season. And now on 3rd down and long, Bender will keep, and he runs right into the arms of Kentrell Brothers. And it's 4th down.
The defensive line has been a force, and this is where it is. Even though he doesn't make the play, he makes the quarterback, the running back make adjustments. And Rakedale Brothers is in the spot to make the tackle. Lots of speed right now showing up for this Missouri defense.
Redhawks trying to get on the board with Ryan McCrum, a 35-yard attempt. And he's got it. So the best drive of the day for Southeast results in points. They're still down 17-3, just over 2 minutes to go in the half. Catching up on some of the games you may have missed. 17-3, Missouri with the lead. We have seen both Matty Mock and Drew Lock at quarterback here in the first half. Mock with a couple of touchdown passes and an interception. Lock led the Tigers downfield, ended up that drive with a field goal. And for Southeast, their scoring drive, 16 plays, 76 yards in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And Ryan Crum with a 35-yard field goal that was good. And his kickoff will bounce through the end zone for the touchback. And it is Matty Mock that is putting the helmet on to come back out again. A look at the 2 quarterbacks. Mock 5 for 12 with the 2 scores. Lock hit on his first 4 pass attempts, ended up 4 for 5 on the drive.
Yeah, and look at the completions here, 5 for 12. That percentage isn't going to be great, but down the field he's had tremendous success. 2 touchdown passes, several corner routes that were easy throws and catches. So again, he's making some big plays down the field. It's the inconsistencies in the short game.
Witter, the motion man. Mock will keep on the quarterback draw. Picks up a yard. Matty ran for nearly 400 yards a year ago. A couple of touchdowns on the ground to go along with his 25 touchdowns through the air. Gary Pinkel telling us he wants Mock to see things better this year. Up that completion percentage. That'll help right there on the pass play to Jason Reese. Last year, Mock just 53% on his completions.
Yeah, and he's wanted to boost that up and get better. And you see Jason Reese there. He's a tight end. They really like. He's got great size, 6'5", 250. They'll split him out. And you see this, the no huddle here on this offense trying to get some passing game, get some yards in the score here late.
Reese in motion. Again, no Russell Hansbrough out with an injury. Suffered early in the game to his right ankle as Reese could not hold on. And that's going to set up a 4th down here. Well, Healing Through Football, an SEC storied film featuring the prayer at Jordan Hare and the kick 6. Miracles on the Plains, presented by Dr. Pepper, premieres Tuesday at 9 o'clock on the SEC ESPN Network and on your Watch ESPN app. This is just the 3rd punt of the day for the Tigers. And Corey Fatoni in his collegiate debut. Mammy will make the fair catch inside his own 30 and a 41-yard punt. How about the D-line zoo today, Anthony?
A lot of speed, tremendous. They've applied the hits. They put the pressure on the quarterback. And you see the hustle to the ball to create turnovers. I think the biggest thing you see is just speed, getting to the football. It's not just one guy or two guys. You see several guys making the hit. You see Beckner, number 79, the true freshman, getting in the backfield. One thing when they turn this tape on, Beth, is they're going to like the activity of the defensive line in this football game.
Trying to make that seamless transition to Barry Odom from Dave Steckel, the former defensive coordinator who left to become the coach at Missouri State. Tay Bender back to run the show. He will keep on the option, and this is one of the things that Sherrod Poteet told us, the offensive coordinator for the Redhawks. We got to make both guys a threat at quarterback and at running back.
Yeah, well, you know, Tay Bender's coming from a junior college school where he didn't run the ball as much. 2 years there, only had about 184 yards rushing. They're trying to get him back. He's got tremendous athleticism. With that being said, that along with getting the ball to McRoberts, the last series they were getting him the football. That's the first time they're able to get the ball down the field, trying to get something going here with 1:10 left in this game, in this half.
And they find McRoberts to make some big plays. They started going to Paul a lot more that last drive. Jackson up the gut, out across the 35. Another tackle for Kentrell Brothers. One of the things Bender did do well in the JUCO ranks at Iowa Western was win. 22-2 the last couple of years. They played for the national championship last year. And what Coach Tuke liked about him was how even-keeled he was. He's all business, very mature when he comes to work at practice every day.
It was a tight race in summer camp. They said he liked his consistency. He was a guy every day that didn't get worse or better. He just went out there, played his football game, moved the football, and they loved what he could do with his legs. And you see him here creating a little bit with his legs, running.
He had a rough battle in training camp to win the job. Alex Niznak, the senior who had some action in 4 games a year ago, was also in the mix. And then a really good true freshman out of Jackson High School in Jackson, Missouri, Dante Vandeven. There you see him with the headset on, a guy they think has a really bright future.
Yeah, they talked about him. He's a dual threat quarterback. They like his upside. But for me, from the passing standpoint, Tay Bender, he's got receivers. Lloyd, number 7, in the slot. He's a very good receiver. Davis, McRoberts. Spread the ball around, try to get the ball in these playmakers' hands and let them make plays.
McRoberts to the short side, the near side of the field. Bender has a big hole, and he's got a blocker in front of him. Out to midfield. Clarence Green able to chase him down, a 13-yard gain. Inside a minute to go. They'll move the chains to stop the clock.
And for me, why not clock it here? 57 seconds, you got one timeout, get something set up. Taking some time here with a play.
Out into the flat, and a decision there by Darius Darden-Box. Did he get out of bounds? No, he did not. The cutback kept him inside the line.
And so you go from a minute, you didn't clock it, and you get it to a receiver who decides not to get it out of bounds. You can see right here the coach.
Tuke is livid.
He wants to get in that huddle. He's yelling at the receiver right now, Box, and he's saying you got to get out of bounds. But to me, why even go that route? Clock it on first down. Even though the clock stops, stop it and set yourself up with a play, not being aware of the wide receiver position.
He has a chance. He's going to have a chance to get out of bounds when he makes the catch.
Yeah, right here, just stiff arm the defender. It's a good job on the tackle there by Green, number 40. The coach Tuke.
Tuke's all in, man.
Yeah,
he is
animated.
He is ready to go. Knows this is a big opportunity for his club. Darden-Box tapping his chest saying, yeah, my bad. Now the problem is they don't have any timeouts left with 36 seconds to work with.
And Beth, they're at the 50 with 59 seconds, right? The clock starts. Now they're at the same spot, second down with 36 seconds. I just feel like when I'm watching college football, the spike is kind of going out. We feel like because we're moving the chains, the clock stops for a couple seconds, but it rolls again. Just get it stopped so you can set something up. Costs them a lot of time.
You also got to know, too, Anthony, when you're out there playing against an SEC opponent, they're using that 8th official out there, the center judge, which is one of his roles is to help get that ball to the line quicker to spot it so teams can go. And the pass to McRoberts, does he get a foot down? No, he does not. Acrobatic catch, but Simon with the coverage, making sure he doesn't come back down in bounds.
Yeah, Bender's a little late here. It's a good catch, but foot just hits on that white line. And again, if you're going to give your big receiver a chance, keep it in bounds, keep it high, and let him go up and track it. One thing the coaches talked about with McRoberts is tracking the football in the air. They said when the ball goes up, he's coming down with it.
3 catches, 43 yards for their All-America candidate here in the first half. 4 wideouts, 30 seconds to go in the half, no timeouts. The toss down the sideline, incomplete, and the flag comes out. Davis was the intended receiver. Logan Cheadle, the sophomore out of Lee's Summit, on the coverage.
Cheadle's got to get his head around as a DB. Didn't know where the ball was on that particular play, and there was some contact. He's going to get called for it.
Yes, by the way, he is related, a cousin to the actor Don Cheadle.
If he gets free tickets to the movies that he's in.
I would hope so. Good
right.
seats, free popcorn.
Pass
would be the
interference.
thing.
Offense, number 11.
Wow.
15 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
Unfortunately, Logan is going to, for him, I should say, Logan's going to get flagged. Interference, had the hands on, no doubt.
Both of them collide at the same time. Cheadle comes at the offensive player. The offensive player really kind of absorbing the defensive player there as he pushes off.
Oh, wow, I thought it was on Cheadle. They call it on Davis.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
Not quite sure, especially that Cheadle didn't have his head turned around. He kind of ran into the receiver. Offensive player tried to fend him off, but I don't know if he was trying to interfere with the process.
Offensive pass interference, that's a tough one for the Redhawks to take. 6 penalties, 62 yards in the half, and it bounds them all the way back to their own 35. And Bender on the run with no timeouts, stays in bounds, wrapped up by Penton.
Just watching Bender there, he looks gassed. I mean, he just didn't look very fast going around the outside. And, you know, you'd start at the 50-yard line.
And it's Missouri that calls the timeout here wisely to force the punt on 4th down.
Well, again, they're trying to find a returner. Maybe he can make a big play here. If he does, gets out of bounds, maybe gets them somewhere where they can get a shot down the field. But not a great series for Southeast. They drove the ball to the 50-yard line. They had a minute left, and they make a crucial mistake of not getting out of bounds as a wide receiver with Box catching the football. And then there, of course, with the interference, which I disagree with. I don't know if the offensive player interfered with that one, so it doesn't work out for him, and it becomes a wasted series for this offense.
It started with promise, Anthony, and it ends up being 6 plays for just 11 yards, and now Missouri can either come after it or set up a return to try and grab some points late. Arian Penton is back deep. Alex Knight with his 6th punt of the first half. Will he give Penton a chance? Yes, he will. Off the muff, and actually does Southeast get it back? No time showing on the clock. And Penton was able to jump back on it as time expires.
Penton bobbles the football. They're going to have to work on that for special teams.
We'll hear from Paul Carcaterra with Coach Gary Pinkel coming up in the Auto Owners Halftime Report. Now let's get you to Dari, Tony, and Booger McFarland, along with Chris Doring in the studio. And welcome back to Columbia, Missouri, as we get set for the 3rd quarter. A 17-3 Missouri lead over Southeast. Jamon Moore and Nate Brown with touchdown catches from Matty Mock. And perhaps the most significant news of that first half, the ankle injury to Russell Hansbrough.
Yeah, this is a huge loss, obviously, for this football team. Hopefully they're just taking some precaution right now. He's out of the football game, but again, ankles, running backs, not a good combination when you're talking about a kid who's going to have an increased workload this year.
He had a carry, obviously, on the that play there, and then he tried to come back, had one more rush for 23 yards on the day, and then they shut it down. And have to wait to see just how long he would be out beyond this afternoon. The rushing yardage without him, just 14 carries for 30 yards. 149 yards through the air from Mock and Locke. They have targeted 7 different guys as they try and find out who will be able to carry a heavier load on the perimeter as they replace their wide receivers from a year ago, and that D-line was able to contain Southeast to just 3 points. They drove the ball pretty well late in that half, and they talked about having a close game if they can get to the fourth quarter. They're a touchdown away from making things a little interesting.
I thought they had a missed opportunity right before the half. Poor clock management by players. I think they should have spiked it possibly in that first down at the 50-yard line, and they make a crucial mistake not getting out of bounds by the wide receivers. So opportunities are there, Beth. It's not like this game is out of hand and they can't do anything, but when they do come, you got to take advantage of them.
Missouri won the toss and deferred, so they will have the first crack at it here in the third quarter. Anthony Sherrills is the deep man. Kickoff from Ryan McCrum. And Sherrills will bring it out of the end zone. Across the 10, a nice block there. And dives out to the 19-yard line. That's where they will have their first possession of this second half. Beth Mullins along with Anthony Beck, Paul Carcaterra also with us today. The rushing was ineffective without Hansbrough, and perhaps we'll see a little bit more from other guys here trying to establish that in the third.
Witter, Stewart, they're looking for guys to step up and play running back. They need some help behind Hansbrough. Good opportunity with that injury to see one of these running backs steps up and does the job for Missouri.
All right, the season opener for both the Tigers and the Redhawks. There's a look at the breakdown for the play selection through that first half. 18 pass plays, nearly 150 yards through the air. It was one possession for Drew Locke, the backup, and now Matty Mock fires to DeLosa out to the 25 and a pickup of 6.
Well, looking for wide receivers on this football team. He's been able to spread the ball around. Quick throw to DeLosa there. The tight end gets involved. But really the deep corner routes to Jamon Moore and Nate Brown on the inside. 2 guys are looking for to stretch the football field. 6'3", big-time players in training camp. It's beginning to pay off a little bit for them.
Penalty flag before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That will be Mitch Hall, the right guard. I'll set him back a few. Ish Witter will be the tailback here to open things up in the third. Sean Culkin, the tight end, moving from the left side now over to the slot right. Brown and Moore go to the left side. Mock options, the pitch to Witter. And Witter out across the 35, or across the 30, excuse me. Ryan Moore with the tackle.
When you get contained in your runs on the outside, you're going to count on your wide receivers to make blocks. And right there, a perfect example of getting your hands on the defensive back, creating the first down lane for the running back.
Good enough to move the chains, and now Mock on play action with the completion out across the 40 to Culkin, and another first down.
Versatile tight end, his ability to spread out, 6'6", great hands, runs a little 10, 12-yard pivot route. Quarterback whips it in there. Nice throw, nice catch.
13 yards on the pickup. Picking up the tempo here for Missouri. Run off the left side, and another first down. This is Tyler Hunt. Ryan Moore with the tackle, a 12-yard gain. Double-digit pickups here on the drive for Missouri.
It was, and Hunt wasn't a running back that really heard much about. He's getting some opportunities, and this is where you find out about your depth at the running back position.
Back to Ish Witter, who's offset. Clayton Eckerd now into the game at tight end. Mock will throw, and he's got a guy wide open around the 20-yard line. Jamon Moore, the sophomore out of Missouri City, Texas. And they are working their way quickly downfield.
Blown coverage by the corner. He's sitting down, nobody in the back end. Easy throw. Probably the easiest catch of Jamon Moore's career. 24, Moore, the defensive back, has to be in proper position. Miscommunication there. Gives an easy play for Missouri.
6th pass play of over 20 yards today. That's something that they were looking for, the coaching staff. Witter off the left side, sheds a tackler. Gets it inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. Roper Garrett is there.
Nice job by the tight end. Love seeing the tight ends. Comes in motion. Watch him get the defensive end. Gets low, gets a good base, knocks him out. Eckerd, the third-string tight end, getting some work today. Running back gets that crease, takes advantage of it.
Senior out of Eureka, Missouri. Steadily moving the ball upfield. Witter, big hole up the middle. Running over a tackler down to the 5-yard line. Alec Ablin able to open up the hole for him.
Nice jump cut by Witter. Again, I'm sure they stressed this at halftime. They need to run the football. Probably called out his running backs. And so far, so good. 37 yards, more than the entire first half.
And now they've got it 1st and goal from the 6. The tight end Culkin, they'll go strong side, left side. Mock to the air, to the end zone, and it's dropped by Nate Brown. Almost had his second touchdown catch of the day.
It's going to be a short corner route here. It's really wide open. Just misjudges it. Got to catch those, and this is the growing pains. As many of the good catches that they made that were great, Nate Brown's got to have that one. He's got to pull it in, read it. That's an easy touchdown pass from Matty Mock.
Mock has already thrown 2 today. This the 9th play of the drive that started on their own 19-yard line. The give is to Witter, wrapped up by the rush edge of Chad Meredith.
You know, with this offense, the ability to spread out, get the tight end in space, I really think there's mismatches when you see Culkin in the red zone area, especially down tight. Trip to the right side. Watch number 80 right here. They can get him on a one-on-one. He's got some room here to work the goal line.
Looking right now, left. He's got time. Mock will step up, throw into the back of the end zone, and it's Sean Culkin who found some space for himself. As the cannon fires, there is a flag down in the end zone. And they may have to see if Culkin stepped beyond the back of the end zone out of bounds before he made that catch.
He did. He had to make an adjustment on his original route. Did he get too deep when he came back to the quarterback to make an adjustment?
Illegal touching, offense, number 80. Receiver went out of the back of the end zone, came back in, was first to touch the pass. That's a loss of down at the previous spot, 4th down.
Well, he adjusts his route here. He's getting pushed by the defender, and his left foot, right foot, he's trying to tiptoe it, but defensively pushing him out of bounds. Tried to stay in, wasn't on him. He understood where he was. Cost him a touchdown kick.
That is also a loss of down. Remember the play prior, a couple plays prior, Brown had the drop. So now a 23-yard attempt from Baggett. He's 1 for 1 today. Made it from 35. And he'll make this one as well. Long drive. Results with 3 more on the board. For the Tigers as they score on their first possession of that second half. I got it rolling downfield, but then a drop touchdown pass and a touchdown pass taken away due to the penalty. Keeps the door just a little bit ajar for the Redhawks. They had a nice scoring drive in that second quarter and then ended the quarter on a downer when they were on the move again, and some miscues were costly. Fatoni to kick it away. McCullough and Jackson are the deep men. And McCullough will watch that one go out of bounds. Down to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, we know about Russell Hainsbrough. He's out for the game with that right ankle, and so is Evan Bain. Both of them taking showers right now. Will be back in street clothes. Medical staff just wants to shut them down for precautionary reasons. Don't think it is anything long-term in regards to severity. On the other front, Coach Tuke feels that this defensive line, when I asked him coming out of the half, is absolutely a bear to deal with. He said they're just so hard to block, and field level, you watch these guys, they are driving this offensive line back every single play, and it's the strength, it's the skill, and the technique of this defensive line. It's no surprise they call them D-Line U.
Well, Paul, Southeast 147 yards of total offense in that first half. They ran 41 plays. They were hurt by the penalties. Bender gets a block and gets out of bounds. It was a punt fest early on in their first 5 possessions, then the turnover, and then the field goal late in that second quarter, and a missed opportunity at points on that last drive.
You know, really no flow in the passing game with any of his receivers. He slowly got to McRoberts at the end of the first half. But to me, they got to make yards on first down. Nice play to get 4 yards there. But if you want to mix it up with a pass rushing defensive line that's getting upfield, screens, quick hitters, try to take advantage of that pass rush.
Jackson will try and follow Washington, but Arian Penton busted it up. Got into the backfield alongside Michael Shear, and there may be an injury now to DeMichael Jackson. The star tailback for the Redhawks will not make it to the sideline. May have been helmet to knee.
And again, very physical play by these corners. If you're going to go out there, you better be ready to block the corner. Right there, McRoberts doesn't take advantage of it. Direct shot there, and takes a hard hit to that knee area, like you said, Beth, and hopefully he's okay. They need this young man to play not only this game, but the season.
He was on his way to a 1,000-yard campaign a year ago, then a broken hand knocked him out of action for their last 4 games. And he will need assistance to get over to the bench. The senior out of Louisville will be replaced by Tremaine McCullough. Jackson today, 12 rushes, 15 yards. Averaging just over a yard a carry. And in distress as he heads over to that bench. We've already seen Hainsborough knocked out of the game. The starter on the other sideline. And the pressure coming from Ricky Hatley, forcing Bender to unload it. Hatley, the junior out of Atlanta, Texas.
Bender, not a good idea to go left where Matty Mock likes to go, but they run a little twist game. Hatley just gets a shot. And right here, Penton getting his hands on him. Roberts got a little post corner action there, but just not enough time for Tay Bender to get the ball out of his hands and even make a completion. He's taken a lot of hits in this football game, not only running the ball, but also with the pass rush of this defense.
And McRoberts' body language continues to show a lot of frustration. Good punt for the Redhawks. This will trickle all the way down inside the 5-yard line where the Tigers will take it. 57 yards on the kick. Well, tonight at 10:30 on SEC ESPN Network, join our network analysts as they discuss all the SEC news of the day on SEC Now. Also available on Watch ESPN. That's presented by Hardee's. Get you caught up on all the action from around the SEC. Big wins today, earlier this afternoon for the likes of Georgia and Ole Miss. Auburn right now rolling over Louisville.
Yeah, that's surprising, that score. Louisville is supposed to have a Petrino-like offense, and right now they haven't done much in that football game.
You got Texas A&M coming up tonight on ESPN, and then here on the SEC Network and the alternate channel, the Florida Gators and LSU will both be in action. Mock under center. We'll give to Tyler Hunt.
There you go.
Spins for a yard or 2. Paul?
Travis?
Well, Beth, if you're a Mizzou fan, good news. Russell Hansbrough came out of the locker room, showered up in street clothes, eating a hamburger as he entered the sideline area. I heard someone say, "You going to be okay for next week?" He nodded his head and said, "Yep."
Well, that is a young man that really could be a breakout star this year in the Southeastern Conference, coming off a 1,000-yard campaign last year. Witter, his replacement, will get out across the 10, tripped up there around the 12. It'll set up 3rd and 3. Michael Ford with the tackle.
Yeah, and they got Alec Ablin's moved to center, taking the place of Bame. And Taylor Chapels come in and playing the guard position for this football team, who has some starts under his belt. He's a fifth-year senior, so he has some experience.
Chapel was a guy they thought might start in front of Ablin at the left guard position. And Alec beat him out in camp. Ish Witter with a loss of 1 on the play. Travis Sanders with the tackle, and that was quick work for the Redhawks defense, forcing the punting unit on.
And you see some leakage in the middle of the offensive line. They got some changes there. Again, it hasn't been a lot of buzz so far since the first half with this offense. You know, Gary Pinkel is definitely not going to be happy about that. He's going to want this team to kind of pick up the momentum a little bit on the offensive side of the football.
He's stressed year in and year out, it's not what the other guys do, it's how we play, how we control the things that make us successful as a Missouri team. Punt out of the end zone. Manny, he'll have a chance. The cutback. And the Redhawks will have the ball in Tiger territory and a chance to make a move here midway through the third. To Russell Hansbrough, who only had a couple carries today. He's done for the day. Paul Carcaterra talked to the training staff. His report a few minutes ago that they are hopeful that it will not be long term. Hansbrough and Evan Boehm also done for the day with an injury that they are hoping will not keep him off the field for a while. But Gary Pinkel looking on from that sideline, and Anthony, you get a sense they're looking for a little bit of a spark right now with Southeast starting out in Tiger territory. And perhaps it will be the defensive unit that provides that spark. They definitely provide the pop. Charles Harris.
Oh, listen, you know, Charles Harris, he's going to be a very good defensive end, but you got to block him. He's got tremendous burst and speed, and what you saw right there, he just makes the play from the backside. And again, he's a young man that they're counting on, and he's been showing it not only in this game, but in practice, a redshirt sophomore, but he says he's a pure leader on this football team.
1 second down, Bender. Leaving it off for DeMichael Jackson, who has returned to the ball game for the Redhawks. And again, Charles Harris.
Well, we talked about the screen game as potentially being something to go against the defensive line rush up the field. And Charles Harris smells it out right from the get-go. He sees the running back slipping out. I'll tell you what, look at that speed, folks. That's a running back. That's DeMichael Jackson, their starting tailback. And he tracks him down for another loss of yardage. And third and long is not where this Southeast team wants to be, especially against this Barry Odom defense.
The 4-yard loss has actually moved them back into their own territory. On third down, they need to get down to the Mizzou 35. Bender will step up running all the way, and he'll pick up maybe 3. Kentrell Brothers with the tackle. But we are getting a glimpse of just how disruptive Charles Harris might be throughout the season for the Tigers.
You know, the one thing the coaching staff said about Harris is they say every single snap in practice, no matter what it is, he gives you optimal effort. He never takes plays off. And you sort of talk about setting the standard for the defensive line, and you talk about the history of that position, that's where it starts.
Penton is the deep man. 8th punt of the day for Alex Knight, and Penton will stay away from it. It will bounce out of bounds inside the 10.
Hey, let's go.
And is it the defense, and is it Charles Harris that will provide a little bump for the Tiger offense as they get set to return? A pretty decent debut for their new quarterback at Auburn, and it looks like some success for the new defensive coordinator as well. Will Muschamp now in town. One of the high-profile new defensive coordinator hires around the country, including the one here for Missouri, as Gary Pinkel brings it back, a former Tiger linebacker in Barry Odom, and Charles Harris may have next.
He's all over the field. There's a standard that's been set at the defensive end position as far as rushing the quarterback, chasing down the running back in the backfield. Right here, he sets the pressure and makes Bender have to run it up the middle of the field there on a pass play. He's been all over the place. And you talk about some of the great ones of the past, Shane Ray, Michael Sam, his name's looking to be on that stone also.
Ish Witter will run it up the middle, may have gotten a couple. This is the 3rd straight possession for the Tiger offense, starting inside their own 20-yard line. They have not had the best field position to begin with here in the second half. They did have the scoring drive to get the field goal. It started back on their own 19-yard line that first time they had the football. Mock will work out of the gun. Keep option right. Looking for a hole. Gets out across the 20. And looks like maybe a yard shy of the first down marker. Austin Black and Marlon Hampton, the guys that got there to make the tackle.
You know, 3rd and 1 situation, and you're looking for some depth at the running back position. You want to test your offensive line. Opportunity now here, they can run the ball. Looks like that Southeast made a change in their defense with their slot receivers.
It's Witter getting a nice block from Brown to Springham. First down yardage, but a flag down in the backfield thrown in the direction of left tackle Connor McGovern.
Connor McGovern going to get the call.
Holding. Offense, number 60. Half the distance from the previous spot. Replay. 3rd down.
Connor McGovern making the switch from right guard to left tackle. You'll see him right here. He's going to basically outside block number 57. He kind of got surprised by him. He looked like he was supposed to go up and make a block to the linebacker position. Fell into him, ultimately causing him to hold him. So a little miscommunication there. Didn't quite see him. Put himself in a vulnerable position and gets that hold.
So instead of the first down, it's 3rd and 10 from the 9. We'll drop it off to Witter, and Ish will try and create on his own. Stuck at the 7-yard line. Nice pop from Ryan Moore. So the penalty will force the punt, a loss of 2.
Not a real aggressive play call there. I mean, they've been attacking the inside receivers with those corner routes. Southeast has made some adjustments, trying to get those linebackers outside along with the safeties on the back end. But to me, very vanilla here in the second half as far as passing game is concerned.
Another punt out of his own end zone here for Corey Fatoni. Tyler Manny, they were able to get the ball to start in Missouri territory the last punt. Fatoni backpedaling inside the 40. Couple of Tigers are there, a block in the back, flag flies, and that will set back the Redhawks. Bryce Warner, a 55-yard punt, 5 yards on the return, but the penalty.
This drew all the flags, Beth. It was pretty easy when
the
first guy blocks in the back down the field.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 41. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So Southeast will have it at their own 30. With 3:24 to go in the 3rd. And we'll take a timeout here in Columbia. They're 20-3, Mizzou with the lead over Southeast. And the last 2 punts from Missouri had set up Southeast in good field position. Charles Harris blew one of those up, and now the penalty blows up the other chance, so it's back to their own 30 for the Redhawks. Kentrell Brothers with the tackle of DeMichael Jackson, and down to Paul.
Marcus Golden, rookie with the Arizona Cardinals, just made the 53-man roster. Congratulations on that. I know this is your first time back to the zoo.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Oh, man, it was great. It was great to come here and see all my younger brothers out here performing and see all these great fans, man. They bring back good memories, so I'm happy to be here.
D-Line U, that's kind of the reputation now here at Mizzou. Why is that deserving?
We call it D-Line Zoo, and we got great coaches, man. Start with the coaches, and there's a lot of great guys that came here and put up some big numbers. So we got to prove it. We can back it up with the stats and all that. So we just want our D-line to be respected, but most of all our defense and the rest of the program.
Speaking of the defensive line now, guys like Harris and Beckner, what surprised you in terms of the way that they were able to fill these gaps after guys like you and Shane Ray are gone?
Really, I'm really not surprised at all. I mean, we got a lot of great players. They go back to the coaching, and a lot of these young guys out here like to work, man. They love it. They know the pride we got in playing on this defense and playing defensive line. So I know all these guys that come out here and get to play on the D-line too, they're going to bring it.
Congratulations once again, and back to Arizona and being a rookie again, Marcus.
Yeah, back to it, man. Thanks a lot for having me today.
Thank you.
Well, Marcus Golden alongside Shane Ray a year ago, setting a new school record for sacks, 44 sacks for the Tigers last year. That was tops in the SEC. They've got one so far today. A couple of years in a row with over 40 sacks for the Tigers. Tremaine McCullough. They contain him on the left side. He'll come back and try the other way. Ends up with a 4-yard gain out across midfield.
You know, the one thing I've noticed about McRoberts as he's playing this football game, he's a tremendous route runner. He's got good hands, but it's the other things I'm watching. You know, blocking, finishing plays. You know, it's a hot day. There's no question about it. He probably wants the ball more, but when you're a scout in the NFL, you're watching everything a kid does on the football field, whether he's finishing blocks, working on the backside, and to me, those are the things you're going to look for, especially when you're bringing a receiver from the FCS team to the NFL.
He will be slotted right here on third down. They need the 43. Some misdirection in the backfield. Jackson with the shoestring catch. And ends up picking up a couple. Michael Shear with the tackle.
Might take a chance here on offense. You're across the 50. It's 20-3. Your defense has played solid here in the second half. Let's see if you can get 5 yards. Maybe a quarterback run here or get a quick 5-yard out that they didn't get out of bounds on before. It might be coming handy for them now.
Well, they're going to keep the offensive unit out there on fourth down. And movement on the right side.
False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Again, a little confusion getting that play in. Not quite prepared to have something set to run and go. Looks like they're going to still go for it here. Now pushed back an extra 5 yards. Make it 4th and 10.
And I do not see McRoberts out there here on fourth down. Is this going to be another pooch punt for Tay Bender as he backs up even further? And it's blocked. He didn't get back far enough. Popped up in the air. Arian Penton the other way to the house. Touchdown Tigers. It was Kentrell Brothers with the block. And you got to question, why not just bring your regular punter out there?
Yeah, for me, you're right. I mean, there's no surprise. You just got a penalty. It's 4th and 10 now. And instead of pooching it where you're actually closer, you're normally 14 yards from the line of scrimmage with your punt team. Now you got a 10-yard distance and a defensive line that's been pressuring the quarterback all day. Poor choice there by Coach Tukes.
You've had the Tigers buried down in their end of the field with poor field position. They've been unable to move it their last few times they had the ball, and now the defense. They scored 3 times a year ago. 25 times over the last 5 years, and they had one here. 41 yards on the return after Brothers blocked it, and Penton plucked it out of the air.
On top of your screen, Kentrell Brothers, look, he kicked it right to him. He pressured it inside and a big thump off his hand. And Penton's like, look what I found. Gets himself a touchdown right there. And I'll tell you what, Kentrell Brothers just quietly had a fantastic game at the linebacker position.
And the reaction from Coach Tuke.
I think he might be questioning that formation, doing that pooch kick in that situation, especially after the penalty. Second year as a head coach here. Coach Tuke has done a fantastic job. He had a great season last year, getting his team fighting hard with injuries.
these are the kinds of games, too. You're going to take some chances.
You're right.
You might have to take some risks. It's a matter of picking your moments as to when they fit you best. And that helps Missouri out tremendously. 27-3 now. Tremaine McCullough and Bryce Warner will be the deep men, with Corey Fatoni doing double duty as the punter and the kickoff guy today. It's McCullough out of the end zone. Ball down inside the 20.
I pulled him down from his hair there.
Thomas Wilson making the nice play.
Gets the side of his jersey.
Well, we got a couple more games coming your way tonight on the SEC ESPN network. It's Florida, New Mexico State at 7:30 Eastern, then LSU, McNeese State on SEC ESPN alternate channel. You got Leonard Fournette, one of the Heisman candidates there for the Tigers down in Death Valley. And for Jim McElwain, a decision to be made at quarterback. Looks like they're going to go with both guys today, Greer and Harris.
Yeah, you know, I'm never a big fan of going back to different quarterbacks in a system where you're trying to get flow, continuity. That's the decision. He's an offensive-minded guy, tremendous success at Alabama as a coordinator, went to Colorado State, had a nice run there. And again, defense has been the name of the game in Florida. Offense is where the doubters have been.
Bender with the pitch. Good block on the edge, and that will spring Jackson. Taven Ross made the hit. Michael Cook at right tackle was the guy that got the edge for Jackson. 19 yards on that scamper.
Joey Burkett, the linebacker, he's coming in now. A few substitutions on defense, gets chopped down on the outside.
27-3, Missouri through 3 as we head to the 4th in Columbia. Now we'd like to welcome those of you that are watching the Tennessee game. Here is where we stand in Columbia, 27-3, Missouri with the lead over Southeast. Matty Mock, a couple of touchdown passes in the first half. Russell Hansbrough, though, out early with an ankle injury. He has not been back. Just under 200 yards total offense for Southeast Missouri State, and they are on the go again. The big play here in the second half, the blocked field goal that resulted in the touchdown, and here's Hansbrough's injury in the first quarter.
Yeah, it gets rolled up by the defensive player on his ankle. Obviously, that was the first play of the football game. I was looking forward to seeing him play, and Matty Mock early in this game got his groove on with some of his young receivers. You know, the question was, who is he going to find? Who is he going to go after? It looks like he found two guys in number 2, Nate Brown, and number 6, Jamon Moore. Two deep threats that have had success against the Southeast defense.
We did see the heralded freshman coming in for a series, Drew Locke. And on the defensive side, well, we knew coming in Kentrell Brothers was awfully good. That, by the way, right there is 15th tackle of the day. And we've also been introduced to a few other guys, including Charles Harris up front.
Love this kid's motor. I mean, he is a fast defender off the edge. I love his speed. I'll tell you what, this kid's got a chance to be special. Only a redshirt sophomore.
3rd down and 5. 3 men down in the dirt, 3 standing up. Bender gets to the 46. It looked like maybe the Tigers had jumped, but no flag.
Nate Howard, either he's a tremendous...
Timed it perfectly.
Good Lord. No flag, though, so...
Brothers and Logan, the 2 guys that were there. Let's see, should they have gotten this one?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like his helmet, top half of his body was over the line. Line judge obviously thought differently.
And that was a 3rd and 5, right? So there's your first down.
Yep.
Instead, the punting unit is on. Penton is your deep man. Aaron is the guy that pulled the blocked punt moments ago out of the air and returned it 41 yards for a touchdown. He won't get his hands on that one. Downed inside the 5 by the Redhawks special teams. 51 yards on that punt. And if it's Matty Mock heading back out there, here are Yeah, he's had some leftist tendencies here today. That's where both touchdowns went.
And it really comes on tape as, you know, he likes this. They sprint out him a few times to the left side, and when he avoids pressure, he turns to the left. You can see 4 for 6. That's where his 2 touchdowns were. Not a great completion percentage. That's kind of where he's been throughout his career. But down the field, 15 yards or more, he's been tremendous.
Looking to improve his record as a starter to 15-4. That would include the last 6 games of the regular season last year when he was good enough to lead this team to another SEC Eastern Division championship. Got into the SEC championship game. They've lost the last 2 of those, and they're hoping that they can get it all together and make another run for it and break through to win that SEC championship this year.
Well, just looking at their defense, I think they're going to be one of the top defenses. You know, we haven't even started to talk about their back end with Dennis and Penton and their strong safeties. Anthony Sherrills, who they talked about, runs a 4-3, plays like a 4-3 also. So they're going to really be the difference maker for this football team.
Yeah, the question will be the running game and just how significant is the Hansbrough injury. He's back out on the field wearing a boot over on the sideline. And so we've seen a lot of Ish Witter and some Morgan Stewart and Tyler Hunt. 88 yards on the ground today, Anthony.
Interesting, too. You see Drew Lock, you know, with 1 series in the game, and you're thinking a true freshman, you know, maybe they don't play him and see where they go with the health of Mock, and only play 1 series in this game. I'm just feel a little different on playing true freshmen, and especially at the quarterback position. Mock's got another year left after this, so just different on how Pink will decide to go about that and play him today.
12-yard pickup there. Culkin hurtling his way out across the 20, or the 23. Clock rolling, under 12 minutes to go. Clock will check with the sideline. Brown, DeLosa, and Moore all go to the left. They'll throw the receiver screen that way, and Moore hauled down around the 28. And an injury at the tail end of that play, Chad Meredith. He pops quickly back up. He's been their best tackler today.
7-yard gain, 2nd down and 3 at the 30.
And of course, the other thing we talked about, not only Russell Hansbrough out with the injury, but also All-America candidate Evan Boehm hurt in the first half. Alec Ablin, the starting left guard, has moved over a spot. Tyler Chappell now in his place. Mock with the rollout and the completion. Deshaun Blair, the redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville. 21 yards on the pickup.
Protection breaks down. Nate Crawford, top of your screen. Remember, he's a defensive lineman transitioning to right tackle, working that kick step, gets beat inside. But when you have a quarterback like Mock who can create with his legs, that will save a lot of offensive linemen with the pressure.
That is Missouri's 7th pass play of over 20 yards. Mock has all afternoon, and now will have to step up. And taken down at his own 47-yard line, Travis Sanders. And slow to get up is number 29, Byron Wilson, the backup linebacker.
One player we haven't really heard or seen much of making a lot of big plays is the Mike linebacker, number 43, Roper Garrett. Doing a good job blocking him up. He's their vocal leader, led the team in tackles, sacks, TFLs, fumbles for a loss. Looks like Wilson's gonna be okay. But no real pass rush today. Nothing to disrupt. We just saw that. Matty Mock had all day to throw that pass. Again, the level and the talent of these players, obviously a step down in FCS. They fight. They give you great effort. Just not being able to penetrate this offensive line and be disruptors at all against this Missouri football team.
Nice job by O-line coach A.J. Wicker to get those guys ready and then to adjust after the injury. Another deep ball and a penalty coming up I believe they're going to get interference on Jamarl Holloway for grabbing the jersey of Emmanuel Hall.
Yeah, you'll see his left hand just put his hand on his shoulder.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Here's Paul.
Anthony, you mentioned that offensive line. They get better as the game goes on. Center and captain Evan Baum nicknamed the big boys up front the Beastie Boys. Missouri in the fourth quarter last year, 5.1 yards per carry. And in games decided by 3 or less in the fourth quarter, 6.8 yards per carry. These guys are clutch.
And along with Mock's decision-making, he had the best QBR in the SEC in fourth quarters last year. And did he just throw his second interception of the day? And the officials say, yes, he did. Picked off by Jamarl Holloway.
Poor choice and throw here. Looked like there was a miscommunication in the route. Mock throws it into 3 defenders in that area. Saw a crossing route here. He sees the receiver. Looked like there's some confusion. 2 guys in the same area. Again, these are inconsistencies. The mistakes you see, he's going to have to find a way to clean that up.
27-3, Missouri with the lead. It was called an interception before we left, but they're going to look at it and under further review.
The ruling on the field was an interception by the defense. The previous play is under further review.
And it certainly appeared with the angle that we had right here that it was not an interception.
You see the tip of the ball hit the ground. Holloway can't keep his hands underneath it. Tries to contort his body. Would have been a great interception, but ball slips out and hits the turf, so should be overturned. Right there, great angle right there by our camera guys. You see the ball clearly touching the turf. Good job, guys. Shouldn't take the referees too long on this one. And that'll bail out Mock's decision there. And again, when you see the receivers, it looked like you have one guy kind of half running, not in the right spot, sees another wide receiver coming his way, and Mock just tried
After
to
further review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Not sure why.
Ball will be placed back at the previous spot. 2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line.
So the call reversed, so Missouri will have possession. Let's check the down and the distance here.
Yeah, you see the crossing route. It looks like the outside receiver came across the field, and number 17, Blair, just kind of stopped running because he felt like there was something wrong. Unfortunately, when you're a wide receiver, the best thing to do is just keep running and just find a spot. Again, he'll have a conversation with the wide receivers. They got some of the younger players. Well, they were younger to start the game.
Yeah.
Now they're even more younger with some of the younger guys like Blair in the football game. Emmanuel, number 84, Emmanuel Hall, is another guy that's in the football game. So they're working their depth now in these situations.
The returning wide receivers available today had just 7 catches last year. 2nd and 10 from the 37 of Southeast. Mock alongside Tyler Hunt. Hunt will carry to the right. Cut down after a short gain. Hunt's helmet came off. He will depart. It's going to be 3rd and long. 3rd and 10 to be exact.
And again, only 85 yards, I believe, rushing on the day for Mizzou, for a team that's coming in here that had some great weapons last year in a combination of Marcus Murphy and Russell Hansbrough, trying to find someone else behind Hansbrough after his injury today.
Ran for almost 180 per game last year. On the rollout, Mock takes a hit, gets down to the 35. His helmet comes off. So either he will have to come out or Missouri will have to call a timeout. Drew Lock has his helmet on and looks like he is ready to enter.
See here, oh, wow, that's dangerous right
Jeez.
there. Defender jumps over, grabs it. Referee is right there to see that. I'm so shocked and surprised they didn't get a flag on that one.
Mock will trot over to the sideline. I'm looking to see if any of the coaches are talking to the officials about whether or not that is a situation where Mock would have to leave. And what they're going to do on this 4th down. It's 4th and 7. So do you send your other quarterback, Drew Lock, out there?
He's already had a series, so at this point, it was ripped off.
He is the much heralded freshman out of Lee's Summit, Missouri.
He'll burn a timeout. Which allows him to come back in the game now because of that play.
Yeah. So do you go for it here on 4th down? We'll find out after the timeout. 27-3 Tigers. Bull Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. Allstate has donated millions in scholarship funds. So the offensive unit is back out there on 4th down. They had to call a timeout to keep Matty Mock in the game. His helmet had come off. It's 4th and 8. They need the 27. Mock throwing for first down yardage, and he will not get the hookup with Nate Brown, who was not expecting the pass quite that quickly or ran the wrong route.
Yeah, I think he ran the right route. It's been continuous here. It's the corner's going to give him a shake inside. He's got to get his head around, though. Once you decide as a receiver to make that break off the defender, get your head around quickly. Right there, he decides not to, can't locate the ball. And you see Mock right now. Listen, if you're going to make that break, get your head around so I can get the ball right on you right now. Great teaching moment for the young man also.
Well, those guys did hook up for a touchdown earlier in the day. And Missouri will turn it over on downs. 8:41 to go. Bender almost picked off. Lee had it and then ran into a teammate. Knocked it out of his hands. I believe that was Clarence Green.
Great job with the pressure. There's Beckner, the true freshman. And then really his own teammate knocked it out of Lee's hands. It's a great job. The redshirt freshman. Originally one of the top 16 linebackers in ESPN 300 coming out of high school.
Run up the middle. Again, you're running right into that D-line zoo. John Gibson was the first guy there. But we're seeing more of Terry Beckner, the 6'4", 300-pound true freshman out of East St. Louis. The top defensive tackle in the country. What a pickup for Coach Pinkel and his staff to get the overall #2 rated guy in the country, as well as Drew Lock, a top 10 quarterback in the nation.
Yeah, you know, I read a quote from Michael Shear, one of their defensive leaders, and he really was astounded by this young man's play in practice and some of the things he did one-on-one versus the offensive lineman. They say he's got a tremendous upside, and they are excited about it.
Setting up the receiver screen to McRoberts, and there he is again, wrapping up the wide receiver after Charles Harris was disruptive in the backfield.
Well, again, it's not just about rushing the quarterback. It's also about sniffing out the screens and the quick passes. When you see him right here, he's on the inside, number 79, and he's going to make a good read here. He feels that there's not a lot of pressure, sees the quarterback throw it out right down the line, the quickness. And look at Charles Harris there, number 91, getting that pressure. He's so fast. He's got a tremendous jump. The fact that he's still in the game, I know that left and right tackle are not happy for Southeast.
Punt. Penton will dummy it, let it land over his head, and it's down at the 6-yard line by the Redhawks. 7:04 to go in the 4th. Alabama versus Auburn Iron Bowl, the game that changed the course of history when they moved it out of Legion Field and they played it down at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn knocked Bama out of the national championship race as the Tigers won the SEC title that year. That's coming your way on SEC Rewind Sunday at 10 Eastern. Well, they have not had very good field position to start things out in the second half. The average start spot was inside the 10-yard line. They got the field goal on the first one and then a couple of punts and lost the ball on downs the last time they had it. And the Tigers will change quarterbacks here And for the second time today, we will see Drew Lock, the true freshman, ESPN's 6th rated quarterback recruit this year. And to another freshman, Emmanuel Hall, and he took a hard hit. Omar Pierre-Louis.
They really like Emmanuel Hall here, you know, true freshman. They said he's been able to catch the ball, know where to go. Nice pop by the defense there by Southeast, but Hall's a guy they're looking to have tremendous upside for this offense.
Blitz is coming. Missouri picks it up. Locke lofts one over the top to Hall, who caught it out of bounds. Down to Paul.
You know, Drew Lock's been getting coached up by Matty Mock on the sideline. Mock's father, a high school football coach. Mock has tremendous football IQ. When I spoke to Gary Pinkel at half, he told me, he said, look, Drew Lock deserves playing time. The way that he's playing in practice, if he continues to play that way, he deserves opportunities in the game. Anthony, the question I have for you, if you're Matty Mock, when do you start to think, like, is this guy potentially in a position to take my job?
Yeah, I'll tell you, if this kid's coming out of camp throwing 75% completion percentage and he gets some opportunities on the field and he starts slicing and dicing defenses up, you could have a little bit of a controversy. And, you know, for me, Pinkel's a guy that, you know, seems like he'll be loyal to who the guy he's got out there. But in retrospect, when you're a quarterback, it does pose to be some uncomfortableness when you're out there and you're playing and you're trying to get a groove with your teammates, trying to get something going, and then you have another guy come in. So, again, they're giving the young man a chance here to grow up a little bit and get some experience.
Locke will hand it off to Morgan Stewart off the right side. And a push for a few more.
But Beth, like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I'm a big proponent of bringing the true freshman in if you don't have to.
Yeah.
I understand that he's number 2. He's earned the right to be number 2, like Coach was saying. But you burn in one of his years. And if you can keep this kid around and give him a chance and give him maximum years on his career here, why not try it?
Good protection again by that O-line. Drew still looking. He'll throw it the other way and wide open down at the 40-yard line. Tyler Hunt, and it's a foot race to the end zone, and Hunt will win it. Locke waited and finally found his man. 78 yards on the touchdown, and the first of the freshman's career.
Well, I was about to say, as the ball went in the air, don't, young man, throw that ball across the field. And I see a wide open running back in Tyler Hunt. I'll tell you, the protection number 1 was fantastic. But the young man gets his first touchdown pass of his young career.
Well, I think, too, the thinking for Gary Pinkel is we know we've got 2 decent guys. And they have had a situation in the past with James Franklin who got hurt. You want to make sure your next guy is ready to go. If that's the case, certainly talking with Gary, he likes Matty Mock. He did some terrific things for them last year. He is their undisputed number 1, and now you've got a young man who's going to have some experience in games to make plays, to learn behind Mock. He's 6 for 8 in his debut, 138 yards and a touchdown. And obviously all his teammates think he's doing a terrific job.
Well, right here, he's in the backfield, and he's just basically running a simple swing route, you know, checking it off. Defenders see the quarterback looking that way. And then once he starts going, the defender never stays with him. And, you know, Drew Lock, listen, he's going to survey the field. You don't want to throw the ball back against the grain, but when there's nobody home, might be the easiest pass and easiest touchdown for Tyler Hunt. And the young man's excited, getting a chance to play today. Russell Hansbrough not playing with an ankle injury. 2 young players getting a chance, and there's the 2 quarterbacks. You see the leadership of Mock congratulating them, saying, man, I wish I could get something wide open like that. But great job by Drew Lock. Just vision, seeing the field. I think that's a number 1 thing. The protection by the offense to give him that chance. But I can guarantee you this, SEC games, you're not going to have that kind of time. So chalk that one up as a gift. He'll take it. It's his first one of his career.
Well, the other thing, too, the way the schedule is set up, you've got a chance to get Locke a lot of playing time early in the year with Arkansas State, UConn, at Kentucky, and then things will get interesting when South Carolina and Florida come to town. in early October. Well, and I think it speaks to the leadership of Matty Mock, the confidence that he has in his own game and knows that he has a chance to help the youngster who appears to be next in line.
Yeah, and I think you're right. You know, Matty Mock is battle tested. I mean, the guy's 14-4, back-to-back SEC championship games he's been in now. He's been in the crucial moments. He's one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in the country. 10 touchdowns to 0 interceptions when it counts in the fourth quarter. I mean, those things are unmatched. You know, we can pick apart statistics. You know, we can talk about completion percentage, say this or say that. But I think at the end of the day, it's about wins. And that's what Gary Pinkel and his quarterback have done here the last 2 seasons in the SEC East.
Well, the other thing that he's got to like is he knows his defense is going to keep him in an awful lot of games. They have given up just the 3 points today. We've seen some good youngsters along the front line, and what we expected from Kentrell Brothers, a new season high, a career high, excuse me, for tackles today. Here's one of them.
You know, instincts, finding the open seams. Watch the patience here. He looks for it, sees the back, makes a read. The lineman doesn't even touch him. He's got that subtle quickness about him, and again here, just find the running back, make the tackle. He's a film rat. Barry Odom said him and Michael Shear, they're trying to see who can watch tape the most between these two guys. So, you know, they're definitely understanding what they see on the football field. And when you're talking about the intellect of a linebacker, that's huge.
And he also had the blocked punt that led to the touchdown. Arian Penton, the scoop and score as Nate Howard makes the play. And because of all the things that Brothers did today, he's going to be the player of the game for the Missouri Tigers with a 34-3 lead as we approach 4 minutes to go in a 3rd and 8 situation.
Pretty nice play there by 88 Nate Howard. And there's Brothers, you know, 6'1", a veteran, 3-year starter, 16 tackles. Impressive showing.
He is the Ego player of the game. Career high 16 tackles today. Coming up to deliver a nice hit was Tavon Ross on Bender, who limps out of the pile. And it's 4th down.
Well, Barry Odom's got this defense prepared. They look like they're in the right spots. The defensive linemen knowing where to be, gap sound. Linebackers are there to fill those areas. Haven't given up the big play, the explosive play down the field. Contained their #1 receiver, an NFL prospect in McRoberts. So again, you got to congratulate the showing of this defense in a lot of positions.
McRoberts held to 4 catches and 40 yards today. They will get ready to head into FCS play after this one. A 58-yard punt. Punt unit has been able to set the Tigers back today. Under 3 minutes to play. Career high number 16 tackles. He had the blocked punt that got him 6 points. And the Tigers comfortably in front, 34-3, 2:54 to go. Night, by the way, for Southeast, 10 punts, 50-yard average. 6 of those have been inside the 20. Alex Knight having himself a nice day. Chase Abington will get the carry, and the first look for Tiger fans at their junior college transfer. He was the 4th-rated JUCO recruit at the running back spot last year. Drew Locke is in at quarterback. See if the Tigers are content to just run it and keep that clock moving. They do show trips right. I'm going to wait and let that play clock run all the way down before the snap. You see the screen, the call, and he couldn't hold it. Some healing through football on SEC Storied on Tuesday night. It's the Miracles on the Plains with the prayer at Jordan Hare and the kick 6, presented by Dr. Pepper, and that premieres Tuesday at 9 o'clock on the SEC ESPN network and on your Watch ESPN app. Tigers won a nail-biter against Louisville this afternoon. They held on for the win.
Finally lit a fire under Louisville. Started that game slow. No points in the first half.
Score one for the SEC over the ACC. Drew Lock. Incomplete. Of course, they had one last night, too. One Carolina beat the other Carolina, South over the North. Big surprises today. Northwestern with the upset of Stanford, and Temple handled Penn State in Philly today.
It's a big win for Temple. You talk about a school that it's tough to recruit. You know, if you've ever been over to Temple, it's, you know, their field's kind of locked into 10th and Diamond downtown in Philly.
Yeah.
It's not a big area under the train tracks. Done a nice job recruiting talent and players, and it's a big win for that program.
Their first win over Penn State since 1941.
Wow.
Final 2 minutes here in Columbia. We got more football coming your way tonight. The Florida Gators will be in action, as will LSU. Jim McElwain will debut as the new head coach down in the Swamp at 7:30 on the SEC ESPN network. And check your local listings for the SEC alternate channel for LSU McNeese State. And a look at the Tigers' new quarterback Brandon Harris, as well as their new defensive coordinator Kevin Steele, who replaces John Chavis, who headed out to Texas A&M. They are just underway with Arizona State.
Yeah, Harris beat out Anthony Jennings this year, and you know Leonard Fournette is going to be the guy in the backfield, the running back. You know, people are talking about him being a potential Heisman Trophy candidate. Saw some of his games last year. Tremendous talent. He's going to have a huge year.
Alex Niznak is now in at quarterback, and he will hand it off to Brandon Stewart, and Terry Beckner with the tackle. There's your returning players in the SEC with 1,000 yards rushing. Chubb and the Dogs got off to a good start today. The Hogs lost Jonathan Williams to an injury, but they've still got Alex Collins back there. And then Fournette and Russell Hansbrough, hopefully for the Tigers, he's not out for an extended period. He hurt his ankle here today.
You're right. We're really looking forward to seeing him play. I mean, his first run was fantastic with a huge gain, and unfortunately on that play, he sprained his ankle. So he is going to be a big part of this offense. I think if you watch this offense, you collectively look at what they've done. They found a few receivers that can make plays, but the depth at the running back position will be the question mark.
Yeah, at least two of those guys in the Heisman talk in the early part of the season, with Chubb, who had the 2 touchdown runs today, went over 100 yards. And then Fournette coming up later tonight. Nate Howard, the true freshman from St. Louis. How about Howard and Beckner together for the next few years?
Yeah, I'll tell you, for 230 pounds, 6'4", he's been shooting. I thought he was offsides twice in this game. No flag for him, so he's been able to get a nice read on the quarterback on that snap. But his penetration through the line of scrimmage has been phenomenal. 3 times I've seen him just way in the backfield before the quarterback even hands the ball off to the running back.
If a player came off, there's an option for a 10-second runoff. Clock operator, please set the clock to 45 seconds. 45 seconds. It'll start on the ready.
I think one thing we learned, Beth, is that these kids got to tighten up their helmets.
Yes.
I think there's been about 4 or 5 on each team. Pop it off today. A little sweaty. They're moist. Buckle it up.
It was a hot day in the first half, and some cloud cover here in the second half has helped out a little bit. But temperatures over 100 degrees down on the field when we got things started. And now in the final 30 seconds, and another good penetration getting into the backfield. Walter Brady.
Number 39, Will Young, the ball carrier.
Wrapped up Will Young.
Making the play for the defense, number 56.
And that may be the final play of the game. 34-3, Missouri. Matty Mock with a couple of touchdown passes, and now Tiger Nation will hold their breath to wait and see the severity of the injuries to Hansbrough and Boehm. But the Tigers wrap it up, and they beat the Redhawks. Now let's get you to Dari in the studio and get you set for more football.